In the opulent chandelier-illuminated ballroom of Lady Witherspoon's delightfully lavish mansion, an air of mystery wafted alongside the sumptuous music and chatter of guests adorned in their finest attire. Suddenly, the sparkle of festivities dimmed slightly as a hush spread through the crowd. The luxurious pearl necklace of Countess Draper, famous for its radiant beauty and exorbitant worth, had vanished. It was a theft most audacious. Amidst the bewildered gentry, young and stood quietly, her observant eyes darting around the room, surveying the scene with interest. Not one to let such thrilling circumstances slip away unnoticed, she had a nose for mystery and a keen intellect to match. It must be someone inside the house, and whispered to her little brother, Jamie, who looked up at her with wide-eyed excitement. Unlike his older sister, solving mysteries was new territory for him. Inside the house? But how did you know? And he queried, his curiosity piqued. Think about it, and whispered conspiratorially. No one from outside could have snuck in unnoticed with so many people around. It has to be someone who is already allowed in, she explained, her voice barely above the lively tunes of the waltz playing in the background. Jamie nodded, impressed by her reasoning but still unsure of their next step. Should we tell someone? Should we do some detective work? And pondered for a moment, the cogs in her mind turning as she formulated a plan. We shall do both, dear Jamie. We notify Lady Witherspoon in private. I'm sure she'll want all the help she can get, and then, maybe with her blessing, we could begin our little investigation. With a nod of agreement, they approached the hostess, who listened intently to their observations. Lady Witherspoon, although distressed, welcomed every eye to the search, even ones as young and inexperienced as Anne and Jamie. Armed with excitement and determination, the siblings embarked on a journey through the mansion, a place teeming with grandeur and secrets around every corner. As they examined intricacies with innocent thoroughness, a remarkable camaraderie blossomed between them. Little did they know, the necklace's real story was far more intricate than it seemed, involving double-crossing guests and hidden agendas, a perfectly tangled mystery to solve, and perfect for the inquisitive and her trusty brother, Jamie. Detective Lucy was known as the sharpest mind in Peachville, a town famous for its annual cherry blossom ball. Each year, dignitaries and common folk alike gathered beneath swaying petals, basking in the joy and festivity. This year, however, the merriment was overshadowed by a mysterious incident, the disappearance of Lady Eleanor's prized necklace. Rumor had it that the necklace was enchanted and could bring good fortune to its beholder. Lucy, ever eager to solve the case, arrived just as the guests were beginning to murmur about Lady Eleanor's misfortune. She was greeted by the anxious hostess. "Detective, you must help us find the necklace," Lady Eleanor pleaded. The detective nodded, squinting her eyes slightly at the dazzling ball attendees. She began questioning the guests, listening intently for any inconsistent stories. Most guests were distressed, but their reasons seemed genuine enough. As Lucy moved past clusters of chattering guests, she noticed a peculiar sight, a waiter who seemed to be more nervous than one should be at a festive ball. The waiter's hands trembled as he adjusted his bow tie repeatedly. Not one to dismiss her hunches, Lucy decided to approach him. "Good evening," she said warmly, though her eyes were calculating. "Busy night, isn't it?" The waiter nodded, his eyes darting left to right. "Yes, quite," he stammered. "I see you've been very attentive," Lucy continued, sneaking a glance at the waiter's waistcoat pocket, which seemed unusually bulged. "I've heard whispers of a missing necklace. I don't suppose you've seen anything suspicious?" With a gulp, the waiter reached into his pocket and produced a glimmering pendant. "I didn't mean to steal it, honestly," he confessed. "While clearing the tables, I found it beneath a napkin and panicked. I thought I'd lose my job if accused of theft, so I decided to keep it safe until I could find a way to return it unnoticed." Lucy took the necklace, nodding thoughtfully. Next time you find something like this, you should tell someone right away, she advised kindly. With the mystery solved, the ball resumed its festivity, and Detective Lucy returned the necklace to the grateful Lady Eleanor, who thanked her profusely. The enchanted necklace was back with its rightful owner, and the story of the cherry blossom ball became one that residents of Peachville would tell for years to come, always ending with praise for the keen-eyed detective who noticed the waiter with a suspicious air. On a bright, sunny morning, Timmy the brave basset hound was wagging his tail eagerly as his human friends, the famous five, sat down for a delightful picnic in the enchanted garden. Holding freshly baked scones and sandwiches, a waiter stood nearby, ready to serve them. Timmy, always curious, sniffed the air, his nose twitching with excitement. Suddenly, his snout pointed towards the waiter's pocket. Something peculiar captivated Timmy. He let out a soft whimper and continued sniffing more insistently. "What's in your pocket, sir?" asked Julian, the eldest and most logical of the five. Before the waiter could answer, to their surprise, he dashed off, his apron flapping behind him. "Quick, after him!" shouted Anne, her voice a blend of curiosity and alarm. The five sprang into action, with Timmy leading the charge. Down the winding path they chased, past the rose bushes and lilac trees. The garden came alive as they sprinted, the leaves rustling under their footsteps. The waiter zigzagged through the flower beds, attempting to lose the tail-wagging detective and his companions. "I spy a red door," said Dick, pointing to a small cottage hidden among the blooms. The moment they reached the cottage, huffing and puffing, the waiter had vanished. Inside, they discovered the secret. The waiter's pocket had held a treasure map. It seemed a clever ruse, a test of character, crafted by their uncle for his adventurous nephews, niece, and their loyal dog. "It leads to a hidden treasure within the garden," exclaimed George, her eyes lighting up with adventure. Timmy, the hero of the hour, wagged his tail happily, knowing today was not just another picnic, but a thrilling beginning to yet another marvelous escapade. And so, united by mystery and friendship, the five and Timmy uncovered the secrets of the garden, a day they'll always remember with awe and excitement, leaving them eager for their next daring adventure. In the quaint village of Amberdale, a mystery was unfolding that had everyone talking. For weeks, the residents had been in a furor over the disappearance of a priceless emerald necklace belonging to Lady Grace. Posters of the missing jewelry adorned the village square, and whispers of who the culprit might be were as common as the chirping of the sparrows. In this village lived three adventurous siblings, Dick, Julian, and their sister, Anne. Together with their trusty dog, Bouncer, they had solved many a mystery. But this was something grand, the case of the missing emerald necklace. Rumor had it that the cunning Charles Caper, a notorious master of disguise, had been seen lurking around the village. The siblings knew they had to act fast before Charles could whisk the necklace away forever. They devised a clever plan to trap the thief during the masquerade ball at Lord Pendleton's estate, the same place where the necklace was thought to have been stolen. The evening of the ball arrived, and the grand hall was filled with guests draped in colorful masks and stunning costumes. Among them, the trio moved stealthily, their eyes scanning for anything suspicious. It was Anne, sharp and observant, who first spotted a figure slinking into the shadows, with a mask unusually large to cover most of the face. With Bouncer's nose guiding them and a quick nod between the siblings, they sprung into action. Dick, brave and bold, charged forward, his swift feet closing the gap. Julian, clever and quick, followed close behind, ready to assist at a moment's notice. The masked figure dashed down the corridor, glimpsing over his shoulder as he ran. But with Bouncer barking and the trio hot on his heels, an escape seemed unlikely. Just as he reached the end of the hallway, Dick lunged and tackled him to the ground. In a swift, well-coordinated action, Julian pulled the necklace from the man's pocket. Caught you, he exclaimed, lifting the necklace high for all to see. The guests gasped in astonishment as the mask slipped from the man's face to reveal none other than Charles Caper himself. Thanks to the clever thinking and teamwork of the siblings, the necklace was soon returned to Lady Grace, who was eternally grateful. The trio were hailed as heroes in Amberdale, and another one of their thrilling adventures came to a satisfying close. Once upon a time, in the small village of Ballywick, lived a group of young friends known as the Famous Five. There was Emma, the clever one with glasses that twinkled under the sun. Then came Jack, the adventurous soul whose pockets were always full of curious objects. Lucy, the calm and caring one, had a voice as sweet as honey. Then there was Max, always energetic and full of bold ideas. Lastly, there was Buster, their loyal dog, with a nose for trouble and a heart of gold. One sunny afternoon, as the village bustled with market day excitement, a peculiar event shook Ballywick. Mr. Thompson, the kindly baker at the village square, ran out in distress. "Help! Help! A thief has stolen my precious golden cat," he cried. The Famous Five gathered instantly, their hearts set on helping Mr. Thompson. "We need to get the cat back," exclaimed Emma, adjusting her glasses in determination. With Buster leading the way, his nose twitching as he caught the thief's scent. The Famous Five raced down the cobblestone paths. They slipped past crowded corners, Buster's tail wagging furiously, guiding them deeper into the maze of alleyways. Finally, they reached a dusty, old warehouse on the outskirts of the village. Inside, they found the shadowy figure rummaging through a pile of stolen trinkets. "Hold it right there," shouted Jack, as the thief jumped in surprise. But before the thief could escape, Lucy calmly approached with kindness. "Please, just give back what you've taken." Her gentle voice seemed to melt the thief's defiance. He dropped the golden cat with a sigh, realizing the trouble he'd caused. Just then, a police officer arrived, tipped off by the baker. The police officer gently took the thief by the arm. The thief, a young lad with weary eyes, admitted to the theft, promising to mend his ways. Mr. Thompson, hearing of their heroics, thanked the Famous Five warmly. "You've saved my most treasured possession," he said, handing them a basket of freshly baked pastries as a token of gratitude. Emma, Jack, Lucy, Max, and Buster celebrated with their favorite treat, content they'd done something good for their village. And Buster, happy with his share of sausage rolls, barked joyfully, already ready for their next adventure together. And so, the Famous Five continued their fun-filled escapades, ever eager to lend a hand to those in need. From that day on, the village of Ballywick knew they could always count on the Famous Five.